And along with the tweaking and other things that I've been listening to, the idea of community and the idea of new beginnings and closing one door and allowing another door to open is just a part of the excitement and the journey of living. And so this journey is taking me to that place of a deeper appreciation and knowing that God is my source, God is all there is, and that I have no unfulfilled needs or expectations. And so we say welcome now to our Facebook and our YouTube families that are joining us. Welcome to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. We are a spiritual community practicing the principles of science of mind. And we are delighted that you have joined us for our August series, The Fear and the Furious, exploring the significance of fear and fury, quote unquote anger, in our spiritual development. And so we will continue this series will unfold for the remainder of August. And so we will begin our service with our statement of being, and there will be a moment for spiritual reflection, and we'll show that statement in a few moments. Our music this morning is brought to us by our guest musician for today, Casey Frazier. Casey is an American-born singer, songwriter, artist from Colorado, by way of Nashville for 25 years, and for more than 20 years has claimed the Monterey Peninsula as his home. And so we will enjoy his music. We had a little taste as part of our opening celebration this morning. And following our time of reflection and music, I will come back with the talk title, and our talk for today is Fear's Clarity, When Fear Becomes a Compass. And so let us begin now by saying our statement of being together, and the words are on our monitor. We believe that life is good, that God is all there is, and that love is the only power. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about the entire planetary family, bringing the gifts of active compassion and kindness to the world. Our purpose is to transform lives, build dreams, and reveal God through education, music, prayer, service, generosity, and play. And we will pause now for our reflective thought for the morning. What if fear isn't a warning but a doorway to clarity? And this will be followed by our opening prayer brought forward this morning by Reverend Cindy Harp. And so let us turn within. And the words for our reflective thought are, what if fear isn't a warning but a doorway to clarity?
We know and affirm that there is one perfect, whole, and complete life. That life is our life. Each and every one of us is born of this divine essence. It lives and moves and breathes and has its life on this earth through us. This is the good news that we come to celebrate this morning. Each of us is a small piece of the divine whole. Each of us is connected to each other and to the one mind. Each of us chooses this morning how we will show up and express this divine essence. Its nature is peace, power, beauty, joy, livingness. This time is set aside each week, even though that divine essence is us, moving us, breathing us, and expressing through us always. But this time we set aside to gather together, to rejoice, to know this truth in a deeper way, each in our own mind, each in our own way. There is something here for each and every one of us, and we claim it in this time together. Life is for living. Life is for community. We each live out our divine purpose as we see best, and we know that it is perfect in every way. We're so grateful for the opportunity to be together. We're grateful for the technology and the technologists and the musicians and the speakers and each and every person that chooses to be a part of this experience today, whether virtually or in person, because it all matters. Each and every one matters. And together we create this great quantum soup called life and livingness and lovingness. So I simply give thanks for this time together, for all that participate herein, for the effect that it has on the whole world. Because it does, that's the beauty. So I release this word into that love and law that simply says yes and brings into being our experience, knowing that it is good and it is perfect and it is complete. I invite you to affirm this with me now, if you choose, by saying together, and so it is.
This next song is called A Song for Life. And I chose it because this song for me is about embracing some of the things that we tend to run away from or fear or find boredom in or whatever, you know? And so this is about, embracing all of those things. So I really, really like this song. Well, I don't drink as much as I used to. Lately, it just ain't my style. And the hard times don't hurt like they ought to. They pass quickly, like when I was a child. But somehow I've learned how to listen. The sound like a breeze dying down. And the magic morning is bringing. There's a song for a life I have found. It keeps my feet on the ground. the midsummer days it's so heavy, but don't they flow like the breeze through your mind when nothing appears in a hurry to make up for someone's lost time? Somehow I learned how to listen. It sound like the sun going down, and the magic morning is bringing. There's a song for a life I have found. Keeps my feet on the ground. Somehow I've learned how to listen. I sound like the breeze dying down, but the magic the morning is bringing. There's a song for a life I have found. It keeps my feet on the ground. Keeps my feet on the ground. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Casey. Very uplifting and inspiring song to really set the tone for our talk today, which is Fierce Clarity, when fear becomes a compass. This week, we explore the idea that fear, rather than being something to avoid, might actually help us. What if fear isn't a warning, but a doorway to clarity? A doorway to clarity. Our opening quote from Ernest Holmes, our founder, in the Science of Mind textbook comes from page 388. We must give ourselves time to work out all our problems. If we don't work them out here, we shall hereafter. There is no power in the universe which wishes us or anyone ill. Life is good, and God is all that there is. This quote is from the chapter on immortality, and it's one of my favorite chapters. Actually, there are two chapters on immortality. This is the second one. And it's one of my favorite ones that comes out of the textbook because it talks about being in the present here and now, and also recognizing that as individualized expressions of spirit, that when we move from this particular form, all that changes is the form. That in the next life, in our next expression, whatever that is, however that outpictures, those things, what Ernest is telling us is that those things which we have not worked out here, we get to work out there. Now, in some traditions, that's known as reincarnation. You know, you come back until you resolve all of your karma or whatever it is that you need to work out. However, the emphasis on living in the now, because this present moment is all that we have. You know, we can look at the future as a life lesson. We can look at the past, we can look at the past as our life lesson, something that offered us a foundation. And then we can project into the future. However, that is a promissory note, as the expression goes. So what we have is cash on hand, or right here, right now, in this present moment. And so when we're looking this from the aspect of fear and clarity around this and allowing fear to become a compass, we begin to understand that fear is not to be seen as an obstacle, but rather it's a messenger guiding us toward fierce clarity about who we are and what deeply matters to us. And I offer this very simple practice to us. And it's so easy that it sounds hard, and yet it's really easy. And the practice is, don't rush to belittle someone just because they don't do what you do or think as you do. Don't rush to belittle someone just because they don't think what you do, because they don't do what you do or think as you do. So in other words, let's get our own house in order before we go judging somebody else's house. Engaging in this practice helps us to approach fear with fierce clarity and courage, moving beyond the source of our anxieties. Fear is energy in motion. It's a signpost that points us towards transformation and creative possibility. And so instead of shrinking from that which causes us discomfort, allow its intensity to bring about true priorities into focus, revealing where our next growth awaits. Fear as a guide rather than an adversary can lead us to personal growth and transformation. It is precisely here in our discomfort that any unease peaks our most profound evolution, and therein lies our possibilities. And I had shared a little bit before we went on air that in the process of preparing to move on to the next greater yet to be in my own life experience, is a process of letting go. It's releasing the activity that I currently have as a pulpit minister. And so in releasing this, I'm releasing it with love, I'm releasing it with a sense of joy and excitement, and I'm also embracing something that is new, embracing that yet unknown. And embracing that unknown, there's some fear that arises. And the fear is around, okay, what's the housing going to look like? Because I'm not only releasing my position here at the Spiritual Center, I'm relocating to a new area. And so there's the fear. Okay, there's the letting go of something that has been solid for almost 6 years in my life. There's my opportunity to be in service here at the Monterey Center. Releasing an apartment that I've lived in for almost 6 years. And then moving into a totally brand new community that, where I do have family, and yet it's a fear of, will I find the right and perfect place? Will I find something that is within my budget? The new budget that is appearing. All of these unknowns. Will it have these qualities and these qualities? So what I did was, with the support of AI, and I know I got some frowns when I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to share it again. I do use AI as a supplement, but not as the total picture. So what I did was described, and I went outside of the norm, and I want to say this to all of the teachers of foundation and especially practitioner studies. When we're learning to write treatments, spiritual mind treatments, we're told not to outline. But I violated that principle to a little extent. And what I did was actually identify the qualities that provide meaning for me. And I fed this into AI, and then it came back with some verbiage. And so I've been refining that and refining that. And the underlying thing that is emerging is that in all of this, God is my source. And when I really tune into that and embrace it and embody it, I step away from fear. I step away from that uncertainty and know that I am being guided. I'm being guided to where I am being led to. And I remember many, many years ago, I was attending a traditional church, and as part of the minister's sermon, he used a phrase, "Where God guides, God provides." And that has really stuck with me. Where God guides, God provides. And so within that context, we can let fear awaken us rather than close us down, so that fear ignites our highest aspirations. And in this way, fear transforms foe into a fierce guide, catalyzing clarity and inviting us to discover the fullness of who we are meant to be. We can view fear as teacher and not as tyrant. And I offer this quote from Justin Michael Williams, a speaker, Grammy-nominated musician and author that I have the honor of doing some work with. And what Justin says is, flip fear into curiosity. Instead of, what if I don't fit? Ask, what can I learn about myself here today? What can I learn about myself here today? And so by pausing and asking ourselves questions like, what part of me feels threatened? And what truth is trying to emerge, we gain insights into our inner world. And this reflective approach allows us to understand the underlying causes of our fear and address them with consistency and constructivity. Fear is often perceived as a negative emotion, something to be avoided or suppressed. However, it can serve as a valuable indicator, signaling areas in our lives requiring attention and growth. And I say this about anger. I've had opportunities, I'm not going to say challenges, I've had opportunities to manage my anger. And I always remind myself, don't let your mouth write a check that the rest of you can't cash. And for those who have been close to me and have observed my own growth and evolution, they have permission. If you see me engaged intensely with someone and my fists begin to curl up, remove me from that situation. Remove me quickly from that situation. And I'm proud to stand here this morning and say that I have moved beyond that intensity. And so growth continues. By embracing and exploring our fears, we can uncover hidden truths about ourselves and unlock our potential for greater achievements. Embracing fear allows for clarity on the other side. And this quote that I saw from Chuck Palahniuk really resonated with me. And he wrote, "Find out what you are afraid of and go live there." Find out what you are afraid of and go live there. And we can look at that, and this is from his book entitled Invisible Monsters. And we can look at that as an opportunity for clarity and calm to emerge in challenging experiences and out of difficult situations. And when he says go and live there, for me, it's not necessarily the physical act of going and living there, it's in consciousness, in mind. Examine our internal responses and acknowledge our fears so that we can better understand our emotions, our limitations, and our areas needing attention. This is all about our inner work. And this process involves cultivating self-awareness, honesty, and compassion for ourselves. Again, our inner work. We begin the process by addressing internal discomfort, which may contribute to a more authentic way of living. Clarity is not simply the byproduct of a peaceful reflection. It arises through adversity or stress when we are confronted with our own deeper emotions. And so during our periods of uncertainty or conflict, we may be forced to face aspects of ourselves that we usually avoid. My earlier example of dealing with my own anger. Those insecurities are long-standing anxieties. And through introspection, we learn to identify and accept all of the parts of ourselves rather than suppress them. So it's all about embracing the totality of who we are. Because I want to go back to the opening quote from Holmes. And he says, "There is no power in the universe which it wishes you ill. Life is good and God is good." And when we stand in that place where we embrace this knowingness and embody the truth of our own process, that God is good, that God is our source, it's during those periods of uncertainty or conflict that we face those aspects of ourselves. And this practice encourages us to grow continually by promoting mindfulness and acceptance in the face of difficulty. Ultimately, this journey allows us to move forward with greater resilience and authenticity, embracing our relationships and our overall sense of well-being. Fierce clarity motivates us to action. Fierce clarity is not passive. It becomes a catalyst for powerful, deliberate movement in our lives. Fierce clarity compels us to step forward with purpose, guided not by the echoes of fear, but by the wisdom that it illuminates. And I share this quote from the book, Polishing the Mirror, How to Live from Your Spiritual Heart by Ram Dass and Ramchara Das. And they wrote, "Fear is a protective mechanism. When you experience fear, you are caught in your own separateness, feeling cut off and vulnerable." And so this is where we turn to the teachings of Science of Mind. And here is where we learn to embody and to practice this concept that thought coupled with feeling shapes our experience and surfaces our deepest intentions. Thought coupled with feeling shapes our experiences and surface our deepest intentions, bringing those intentions into light. When we allow fear to sharpen our focus and clarify our desires, we begin to channel the energy into emotions that are both authentic and intentional. I want to share with you a good news story that I think illustrates some of what I have talked about this morning. And I remember when I was going through ministerial school, one of our class assignments, and I forgot which class it was in now, but one of our assignments was to find at least three to five pieces of good news within media. This could be your social media, it could be the newspaper, it could be other sources. But I think this was a class that had 3 sessions that were spaced out. And so for each of those 3 for 2 of the 3 class meetings, this was our assignment. And so I'm continually looking for good news to illustrate and support, the idea and the teachings of Science of Mind and the idea of living a life that is sourced by God and knowing that God is the only power. And so this story starts out with a stranger ringing the doorbell that turned into a long-standing friendship between 2 women in South Florida. Dara, who worked at a local Wendy's in Palm Beach County, was having a difficult day at work and needed a few minutes away, somewhere to just sit and breathe. And as the story unfolded, Dara lived quite a distance from the location where she worked. And so it would have taken her longer to walk home and to walk back. She did not have transportation. To walk home and to walk back than just to sit, but she needed to be away from that surrounding. Ever been in a situation where you just really need to divorce yourself momentarily from that surrounding? And so walking through the neighborhood, Dara stopped in front of a house that she had never visited and debated whether to knock. In her words, I paced back and forth over there for a bit, like go home or stay, go home or stay. She decided to stay and ring the doorbell. And through the Ring doorbell, through the Ring camera, she says, hi, I work at the Wendy's over there and I'm on break and don't want to walk all the way home. Can I just sit here and eat my lunch? Abigail, working from home, even though she questioned the unexpected request, answered yes. And she tried to imagine herself in Daria's shoes. After receiving the yes, Dara said, I'm trying not to cry while I'm eating because I'm just so happy she said yes. That simple yes meant more than Abigail realized. What began as an awkward encounter between two strangers quickly became something neither expected. The two women say their friendship came naturally. They've gone out on dinner dates, walked around Palm Beach, laughed together until they cried, and even started making videos together. Abigail says Dara's willingness to approach a stranger challenged her to step outside the social norms that can keep people isolated. The friendship also inspired both women to approach life in a different way. Abigail said, Dara inspired me to move against the current and not kind of follow the current trends of what everyone else is doing, because you never know what could happen if you moved away from the current. For Dara, the lesson was just as powerful. Understanding others in situations, understand their situation and be nice. Abigail said, I would say we need more kindness in the world. And I think we all agree with that. We need more kindness in the world, especially on social media, because as you said, we're always seeing such negative things. Dara says she doesn't know what drew her to Abigail's house that day, but she's thankful it's where she ended up. And now, the stranger whose porch became a place where for Dara to catch her breath has become something much more, a friendship. It's like we've got each other's backs, they both have said. And so this story reminds me of our center right here, our Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. It's the way that we create community among ourselves. And it's also the way that we are extending beyond the brick and mortar, recognizing community is not bound by a building. We're stretching out, we're reaching out, we're accepting invitations, we're responding to others who are seeking community and seeking connection. And so my challenge to you this morning is to continue to be open to spontaneous connections, wherever and however they show up. And so summing up, fear is not a villain in our story. It is a veil that sometimes conceals our deeper truth. When we approach fear with spiritual curiosity and a willingness to listen, its presence can become a doorway to fear's clarity. Practicing the teachings of Science of Mind, we learn not to flee from fear or suppress it. We learn to stand with it, holding it steadily in the truth of who we are. When we give fear the space to reveal its underlying wisdom, we discover it is simply asking us to notice, to awaken, to step forward with conscious intention rather than hesitation. You know, it's like putting one foot in front of the other, not pausing, just keep moving. This week, let us practice the courage to stay with our fears long enough to let them speak. When we do, we may discover fear is not telling us to turn back at all, but inviting us to move forward with a greater purpose. Our closing quote this morning is from Pema Chodron in the book When Things Fall Apart, Heart Advice for Difficult Times. And she wrote, "The spiritual journey involves going beyond hope and fear, stepping into unknown territory, and continually moving forward." And so as we move forward, embracing this unknown territory, I invite us to turn within and to know that there is one source, there is one power, there is one presence that is holding everything in absolute and perfect harmony. This source, this power, this presence is what I call God. And I know that it is known by many other names and traveled to by many paths. And yet, it is that place that invites us back to what we call home. Home, the place of the heart, the place where we all return. And so I speak my word this morning, declaring that within this power and this presence also rest our fears, our discomfort, our disconnects. And they rest within this power and this presence because it has the ability, as it expresses itself through us as individualized creations of it, to resolve and to bring to a peaceful resolution all that which concerns us. And so as I move forward on this life journey, knowing that God is my source in every aspect of what source means, my joy, my strength, my hope, my prosperity, my disappointments, my excitement, my joy, all of the things that make up the totality of my life, I know that God is my source and that I cannot waver, I cannot flounder in any way because God's got my back, because God is my back. And as I know this truth for myself, I know it for each one that is here present in our physical space, for those who are joining via technology, and for wherever this word goes out into the atmosphere, reaching those that I may never know, I may never encounter, reaching those that we here in the center may never know, may never encounter, and yet our word of truth, our word of hope, our word of clarity, our word of recognizing the presence of God in all things goes forth and resoundingly leads the way for all to follow. I give thanks this morning for places where individuals are gathering in the name and nature of oneness, knowing that along the way our paths may intersect, and at those points of intersection there is love, there's joy, there's excitement, there's encouragement, there is hope, there is a knowingness that all is well. And so for this and so much more, and for the prayers that remain in the recesses of our own hearts, I know that the answer is yes and amen. And so I release this word into the activity and the action of love and law, knowing it is propelled into the atmosphere. And the response is, all is well. And so in gratitude, I invite you to affirm this with me by saying, and so it is. And so it is. And I just want to take this moment to remind those of you who are here in the center that we actually do have a prayer box, that, and we have treatment request forms near to the prayer box. There's a working pen that is in the container. Take advantage of it. You know, let your requests be made known and let them be answered in a positive and affirmative way. And so now it is our opportunity to participate in the flow of circulation, known as offering time in the community that I come out of. And so we have an affirmation of abundance that I invite us to share together. I recognize the presence of God within as the source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And we have on our screen the ways that you may contribute to the center by mail. And please use our P.O. Box for mailing. That is P.O. Box 804, Monterey, California, 93942. You may text to give, and that number is on the screen, and you may also donate online through our website, montereycsl.org, donate. To our Facebook and YouTube family and friends, we invite you to join us next week as our guest speaker, Denise Kaku, practitioner emerita, will be bringing the talk. And the talk title is In the Presence of Fear. What if fear isn't the enemy, but a guidepost towards deeper understanding? So there's a theme that is recurring here that is inviting us to move away from fear as a negative and to embrace it as a guidepost. So I invite you to join us next Sunday for Denise Kaku. And if Monterey happens to be your destination, we invite you to stop by our center and celebrate with us in person at 52 Soledad Drive here in Monterey, California. So we say thank you and good morning to our on-air community.